Well, it was a steaming hot day in June. Summer's here, and so is Bernie Sanders, making a surprise visit with only about 3 days' notice to the North Bay area, stopping in the town of Cloverdale. Tons of people, estimated about 6,000 strong, came out to see him. Vendors went ahead and put out plenty of shirts and buttons and various doodads for the supporters of the Democratic presidential candidate. To be clear, he did not arrive in this vehicle. However, he did arrive shortly before 8 p.m. in a single-prop airplane to speak to the crowd.
Candidates for president, not just to go to LA and San Diego and San Francisco. It is important to get out to the rural parts of the state. I wanted to be here and just grateful for so many of you coming out. Probably the first presidential candidate recently to drop by Cloverdale. This campaign about a year ago, and when we began it, most people thought that we were going to be a fringe candidacy. The experts noted that my combing my hair was just presidential and that my attire was clearly presidential. But despite that, they had doubts about how far this campaign would go. Well, here we are in early June. The world today, we have more people now in jail than any other country on earth. China, 4 times our size, we got more people in jail than China.
Private prison!
We are spending $80 billion a year to lock up 2.2 fellow million Americans. 2.2 million Americans. Our job is to understand why this is happening and to change it. One of the reasons it's happening is that in inner cities throughout this country and in rural communities, unemployment for young people is 30, 40, 50%. And when kids have no jobs and when they're not in school, bad things happen.
Yes.
And that is why together we are going to invest in our young people, invest in jobs. And when we talk about equitable wages, it is not acceptable to me or to any of you that women today are earning 79 cents on the dollar compared to men. That has nothing to do with economics. It is just old-fashioned sexism. And together, I know that every man here will stand with the women in the fight for pay equity. Once a month, just yesterday, a report comes out from the federal government talking about unemployment. Recently, official unemployment was 5%. Anybody believe that real unemployment is 5%? No! You're right, it's not. If you include people who are working part-time or are given up looking for work, real unemployment is close to 10%. And that is why we need to create millions of good-paying jobs in this country. We should be hiring teachers, not firing teachers. Everybody here knows infrastructure, our roads, our bridges, our water systems, our wastewater plants. We used to have the strongest rail system in the world, no longer the case. Levees, dams, all over this country in massive need of repair. We're going to invest $1 trillion rebuilding our infrastructure, creating 13 million good-paying jobs. Every mom and every dad knows how hard it is to find quality, affordable child care. We're going to be putting hundreds of thousands of teachers to work, making sure that our children have the best child care system in the world. There are millions of seniors and disabled veterans today who are trying to get by on $12,000 a year Social Security. And you know what? Nobody can get by on $11,000 Social Security. And that is why, at a time when our Republican colleagues, my colleagues in the Senate, their brilliant idea is to cut Social Security. Well, we have some very bad news for them. We're not going to cut Social Security for the elderly and for the disabled veterans and for people with disabilities. Yeah. We are going to expand. I've introduced the best legislation in the Congress to do that. I am very glad that President Obama just the other day said very loudly and clearly that it is time to expand Social Security benefits. And I would hope that Secretary Clinton comes on board our very good legislation.
And so there you have it. He only spent about 5 minutes talking about his Republican opponent, Donald Trump. He did talk about Hillary Clinton. He talked about a lot of the issues that mean a lot to people in this campaign. Equal pay for women, jobs, rebuilding our infrastructure, Social Security. And I think the crowd ate it up. They were thrilled to see him. So good luck to Bernie, and we will know soon whether or not he will be the Democratic candidate.